obviously being one of them, and you played a lot of shows solo as well, and also with the trio. When you're playing solo, there's nowhere to hide up on that stage. It's just you and your instrument of choice. Whereas when you're with the band, you've got someone to lean on. You've got people to play off, that kind of thing. Do you have a preference as to which format you're playing in?
They're both really different. They're both very enjoyable. Solo thing, which I didn't really start till 2005. That was terrifying at first.
Yeah, no doubt.
It really was. It was sort of like you say, you're just completely exposed. You feel like you're under a massive microscope or something.
Yeah.
But so it was a bit of a learning curve just on how to do the solo show. But it's I don't know. It's a different thing. In some ways, I probably enjoy it as much, if not more.
Yeah, fair call. It's interesting that given you didn't start solo until a few years ago, even with all this experience behind you, you can still find something that's new enough to like it scare you, I guess.
Yeah, that's the thing. It was, but it was a positive all round because it made you sort of you had to sort of approach the songs differently, the way you play it and in your head.
Yeah,
I guess, and it made you sort of once again look at the lyrics and the whole storyline, because that's first and foremost, it's you're there to tell a story, and
that's right.
And then everything else supports that. So you're trying to tell that story to the best you can.
Absolutely. I guess in that guise, it's far more about the song as opposed to the spectacle of a band.
Yeah, it all comes down to the song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over the past couple of days, we've been conducting interviews here, and there have been a number of artists who have cited you as like offering them help and influence. In particular, Billy TK Jr. I was speaking to him yesterday, and he couldn't sing your praises high enough. Is this something that you do on a regular basis? Work with younger and up-and-coming musicians, like help, influence, mentor? Is that something that you do regularly, or is this?
No, it's something I probably should do a lot more of.
Yeah.
But yeah, Billy's. For anyone that doesn't know, Billy TK Jr.'s Kiwi follow. Is a mighty guitar player.
Indeed,
and I think he's finally made a record that belies his abilities.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's glad to have been of some help, and hopefully I can do that to others.
Absolutely, he said.
4 others.
He said he remembered flying over to play you the record and sitting there as you listened to it. He's never been so nervous in his life.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. I think it's a bit of a nervous thing for him because he's done a lot of records and sort of hasn't been sure about whether he wants to be a pop artist or a blues player. And I think his forte is blues, and
definitely,
he's finally got the record.
Yeah, I think so. John Brewster from the Angels was saying last night that once they hit their stride back in the day, the Angels made a point of taking younger up-and-coming bands on the road with them and like really kind of teaching them, I guess the ropes, because they saw it as an integral part in a band's education, because that was what happened to them with AC/DC. Is that kind of something that you agree with? Like, do you think that it's integral to a young artist's education, I guess, to really get out there and do that and to have someone take them under their wing?
Yeah, I guess, look, I haven't thought about that much. I know when Cold Chisel last year did the Light the Nitro tour, I guess we wanted to, there's some few criteria there. One was to actually have a band that sort of complemented our style.
Yeah.
At the same time, it was all about, we did think about trying to give bands that did that and probably didn't quite get the break they deserved.
Yeah.
So quite often those kind of decisions are made by promoters and sort of their connections with the record company, with the main act, as it were.
Yeah. No, fair enough. Okay. So I think it's fair to say that you're in the rather rare position of having been in, firstly, one of the biggest Australian rock and roll bands of all time in Cold Chisel, and secondly, having a successful solo career, not necessarily just by yourself, but like under your own name, a successful solo career outside of that. Over the years, how much, if at all, has one affected the other? Like, for example, when you recorded Matchbox some 5 years after Chisel split, did that, what you'd learned with the band, kind of infuse into that? And then when you guys went back in to make No Plans last year, did your solo experience before that kind of infuse into that at all? Or are they so separate it's just too hard to say?
It's a bit hard to call for me. I kind of feel like I got like to think that I've got a different thing going on to Cold Chisel, so they do feel like two separate beasts.
Yeah.
But initially there was that sort of the early days, that you went out and said, no, I don't want the association with Cold Chisel. I'm an artist in my own right, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Don't you dare mention Cold Chisel on the advertising and initially got that. You sort of went out, and every show you did, there was people screaming for K-San and all that kind of thing. But pretty soon you stuck to your guns, and people learnt that you weren't there to be a jukebox for a Cold Chisel jukebox.
Yeah.
But for the rest of it, I guess it's all about still trying to get better as a guitarist, as a singer, and keep making efforts to sort of to improve myself.
Yeah, absolutely.
And however that comes out on record, whatever that record that be at the time.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's all gone forward.
But it take a long time at first to kind of become comfortable. I guess like people treating you as a jukebox. I guess was that something that over time was just water off a duck's back? Like after, I imagine at first it would have like really pissed you off.
Oh yeah, look, it didn't take long. I mean, I guess for a start, I had fairly early in the piece, I had a whole bunch of new songs, and it was pretty clear fairly quickly, as I said before, that I wasn't there to be a jukebox.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Your last record under your name was Soul on West 53rd, which was released about 3 years ago. Where are you heading at the moment?
At the moment, where am I heading? I still really enjoy doing the acoustic thing, but I'm really enjoying electric and the whole trio, the power trio kind of thing. So that's something I'll stick with, and currently working on songs, and see what happens in the next year or so.
Okay. So not really following on down that soul path at all?
No, that was just something I wanted to do. I think everyone wants to do that.
Yeah.
At one point in their lives, just get a chance to sing those songs and put them down. If you're lucky enough to be in a position, put them down on a record. Yeah,
fair call. It's quite interesting that when you released that singing soul records over in New York, about the same time Jimmy Barnes released a soul record recorded over in Los Angeles, pretty much the exact same time. You're on opposite sides of the country, really getting into the same kind of music. It's quite coincidental.
Yeah, it was going for a slightly different thing.
Yeah, he was, but like more R&B, I guess he was going.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. Okay, so where to from here, mate? I mean, obviously you're like still writing, you're still playing. So what's the plan? Where to next for Ian Moss?
Well, to do all this Day on the Green shows coming up, and Red Hot Summer.
Yeah.
But just nothing, just cruising along with the songwriting and work towards getting a record out.
Yeah. It'd be remiss of me not to just briefly touch on Cold Chisel. I mean, you guys released your first album in ages, No Plans, last year, which was fantastic news for a lot of fans, and it was very well received. Firstly, how was it getting back into the studio with those boys? It would have been quite interesting, I imagine, because you're all in very different places to how you were back in the 80s, 70s.
Yeah, well, obviously, and there was an extra sort of, thing thrown in there with the passing of Steve Presswich.
Yeah.
So kind of still coping with that and getting that passed, and then trying to do the right thing, sort of get used to the new drummer and do the right thing by him. It's either it was working or it wasn't. And recording process is something pretty different to what we would have done in the past. Fairly much just banged down a whole lot of takes and then left it with the producer.
Okay.
But it's good. Yeah, it's still really live. In the past, you might have done 3 takes, picked the best one, and then you've got to nurture that and build it up.
Okay,
but the difference is then you end up in overdubbing land. It's not quite as spontaneous.
Fair enough. Any plans, cultures-wise, in the future?
Yeah, we're still keen. I should say no plans. Because I suppose everyone's just there's nothing super. Well, definite is let's talk in say the beginning of 2014 to see if we're all still interested.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I think we've got a couple of minutes left. We might have time for like maybe a couple of questions from the audience. I'm sure there's a question or two out there for Ian Moss. Don't be shy.
The question was, yeah, who's, I guess, who's my hero? I suppose you mean more like guitar hero, and inspired me and made me want to do what I do. It was ultimately it'd have to be Jimi Hendrix. And it was around that time. That's when I started learning guitar. You know, the radio was full of, you know, it really was a revolution in music because it was all, you know, Yellow Polka Dot Bikini and James Hold the Ladder Steady. I don't know if anyone even recognises those titles, but songs like real sweet, yucky kind of pop stuff. And then suddenly there was Cream and Hendrix and Led Zeppelin, and all that. So definitely those guys most seminal. Then, you know, there's other. Blackmore was a big Blackmore fan. These days, I'm just, if I had to, you'd say, okay, name a hero. There's a French gypsy jazzer, or jazz, he can sort of rock as well, a guy called Borelli Legren. Is just amazing. Cheers.
What about Australian artists? Who are you listening to locally at the moment?
Not going out in particular. I mean, I just, you know, just listened to Ray Beadle, and that was very scary. I mean,
he is scary.
He's fantastic. Just
indeed.
Being Australian guitar players, you've got Ray Beadle, James Muller, Wayne McIntosh, who's a bit of a guy that hides away up in Cairns, but it's fantastic. Andy Hagen. Yeah, to name a few.
Any more questions for Ian? All right, I think we'll let you go and get ready for your closing set, mate. Mr. Ian Moss.
Thank you.